Alright guys, the 2025 XXL freshman list is in, and as usual, it's gotten a ton of hate. However, this year's list is a little different, and because of that, it's gotten slightly more praise. So I'm gonna go over the people who made it, go over some of the picks, and the reason why I think XXL is in such a weird spot. Alright, so here's who made it. Jello, like Leangelo Ball, Laserdym, Rayvon, Samara Sin, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, Nino Paid, Low Shimmy, 1900 Rugrat, YTB Fat, Baby Chief Do It, Ian, and Eam Triplin. Now, right off the bat here, like I'm not even gonna, oh, and by the way, EBK Jabo. We don't really cover some sides of hip hop on this channel, so I'm just gonna skip over them, but it's cool. It's cool. I think it's definitely one of the better lists in the past like 3-4 years. You know, Nino Paid hits like a really good sweet spot between like these mainstream listeners and the stuff like kids are really fucking with. Laserdym as well, you know, and then other picks on here just kind of make sense. Like Jello, this got a lot of hate on the internet, by the way, Jello being picked because he has like one song that kind of blew up for being like a meme, but it was also kind of hard, you know. It still makes sense why he would be on the list, you know, and Rugrat makes sense why he would be on the list. There are a couple that are kind of questionable, like Eam Triplin. I don't know, he blew up years ago. It's kind of funny, but you know. Anyways, Laserdym as well is like, I would say he's the most underground-ish artist on this list, but he's definitely eclipsed that. That was a good pick. Ian being on here is obviously a bit controversial, but I think it makes sense for him. There's one pick on here that I'm surprised a lot of people didn't speak about, Baby Chief Do It. I'm actually a bit surprised that Chucky isn't on this list. Maybe he declined though, but to me personally, Chucky is the hottest rapper out of Chicago. So let's see what some people have had to say. The best class in years. Actually not a horrible list, but I'd rather some other people up there. I feel like the catch-22 with a lot of these like XXL freshman picks is, number one, nostalgia always just like smacks everyone. You know what I mean? It'll never be 2016. And you know, it may be the case, and I'll go over this later, but just like people didn't know 2016 was gonna be that special until like a year or two after. You know what I mean? Ever since 2016, y'all just got in here and started playing. Someone said Ian. No, Osama Center Protect. Yeah, y'all failed again. Also, what's super funny about like XXL is, you know, like the fake XXL list, and you know how it like would fake leak every year before the list dropped. This year, like, because there's so much promo on Twitter, even like the fake list is like Twitter promo, if that makes sense. I don't know, I just think it's funny. Like, they got Bossman D-Lo, Roman Fox, Kyle Rich, Lay Banks, you know, like Rich Amiri, but whatever. So let me go over a couple of these picks. First off, let's go over Ian. Now, Ian kind of blew up last year, but he blew up like right when I'm sure the list was already done and completed, right? I'm trying to think of the actual timeline, like a little after. So to me, he definitely still is a freshman. He even made like a little Instagram post, you know, talking about it. He said, "Dear Mom, freshman year has been amazing. I made so many new friends and learned so many new things. Campus is great and my teachers are pretty cool too. Here's some pictures of me and my classmates. Pretty funky bunch. I should probably lay off the Metro Bloomin'. Freshman 15 is coming in a little faster than expected. Can't wait to see you soon. Love you, Ian." If you don't know what he's talking about when he says freshman 15, it's just like this thing people say when like freshmen get a little chunkier, if you know what I mean. From, I guess, it's the lack of exercise and eating more, you know. And if you think about it, regardless of how you feel about Ian, he definitely deserved a spot on this list, and if his freestyle is good, it'll be a good look for him, you know what I mean? They'll probably put him in the same cipher as Nino Paid. I wonder who else will be in it. I feel like in the past, when they've had like a couple of rappers like fans have really liked, they've spread them in different ciphers. I feel like this year, if they put Rugrat, Ian, Nino Paid, and Laserdym in the same cipher, it's gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? Just that one single cipher. And I feel like that would just be best for XXL. But anyways, let's go over the next one. Laserdym. I feel like this is an easy pick. Laserdym's style of rapping makes it really easy to freestyle, if that makes sense. He also can just rap regularly. Like, there are all these mashups of his acapellas on like random songs, and it just fits, you know? And he just has this like fun, playful style. Just makes sense overall, you know what I mean? Also, something really cool about this list is Cardo Got Wings, the producers on it. Cardo's like a legendary, he's like an OG producer at this point, but Cardo's been producing since like the 2000s, you know what I mean? Like, he's had runs with artists from different eras. That'll be really cool, you know? There's just not really much more to say about like Ian and Laserdym, to be honest. Next, Nino Paid. So Nino Paid is from the DMV, and he had like this little quiet motion for about 6 months or so, I'd say, and then certain songs started going up on TikTok, He had like this moment on Twitter after this Lyrical Lemonade freestyle. That was cool. And I don't know how to explain it. He kind of has like this touch of Lucky. I know that might sound funny, but just lyrically and even the way he raps. But he also has like this pain type music feel, if that makes sense. It's like emotional rap on newer, more creative beats. And it's stuff that more normal rap fans can appreciate, which is why he probably is going to have such a bright future and why he makes so much sense for this list. He's probably the best pick on here, if I'm being honest. I'll go over two more. 1900 Rugrat. When 1900 Rugrat first came out, he came like swinging, you know what I mean? He had that song One Take Freestyle. I forgot the other song he had. It was like Clean and Dirty. And he has a couple of good singles. The difference between 1900 Rugrat and a lot of like these other white rappers is, I feel like for a lot of white rappers, them being white just turns into a gimmick automatically, whether they like it or not. And of course that's happened for 1900 Rugrat, but his music has been able to stand alone. His music has been able to stand much better than a lot of these other white rappers. Like for example, even Ian, him being white is almost like a part of his whole persona and whatnot, while Rugrat just seems like he's doing his thing, you know? Rugrat also dropped an album. It didn't really make much noise. I didn't really listen to it, but you know, it was cool. He's cool. He makes sense for this list. Lastly, we have Jello. I feel like everyone's heard that song by Jello. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa. I don't know. To me, Jello's like entire like career timeline is so funny because I was a really big fan of basketball when I was younger. I don't really watch as much anymore, but I remember like paying close attention to the Ball brothers and Chino Hills and all that. And I remember when Jello got banned from UCLA, and I remember when he didn't make the league. And I even remember like Lonzo Ball rapping way back in the day. So Jello like having this hit song and rap and signing a deal and being on XXL Freshman is just feels funny, you know what I mean? Like anything is really possible. But good for him. That's all I really have to say. I mean, I don't know if anyone's gonna be like checking out his album or anything, but yeah, good for him. I really wonder how good his freestyle is gonna be, but I'm pretty sure he's been rapping for a long time, so we'll see. Anyways, now I kind of want to talk about XXL and their problems as a whole. So like, look, the first problem XXL is having is, you know, I feel like XXL always has been controversial. That's one of the reasons why their list is so iconic, you know? The list drops and fans like, he got snubbed, he shouldn't have made it, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they kind of rock with the list. More so younger, newer hip-hop fans who was more geared towards, right? I feel like because of how poor the curation has been in the last 5 years, maybe not last 5, maybe like 3, 4, XXL has, you know, they've fallen out of favor with their younger audience, right? People don't really look at XXL, or they don't hold it in the same regard as they used to. Because of that, they're not only hated on by older fans, they're also hated on by younger fans. Because if you go on like Twitter, right, there are old heads hating on XXL. This XXL Freshman cover is super ass. I feel like an old head saying this, but back in my day, the cover was a serious moment in hip hop. If it wasn't for Ray Vaughn, no one would have even said anything about this in years. Pushing 30 and looking at the 2025 XXL Freshman class, and like, look, that's normal. That's normal. I feel like if you're older, you're not going to be as tapped into like anything newer in culture, right? It's just the tale of oldest time. The thing is, even younger fans aren't co-signing these lists, which makes it seem like XXL is whack as a whole. You know what I mean? Because younger fans are looking for someone like Osama Sun or Xavier So Based or Netspend. You know what I mean? And XXL is just failing year after year after year to land somebody like this. And when they do, they're landing it late. And that's another thing too. I feel like because people are blowing up so fast, it's harder for XXL to like catch them at the right moment. You know what I mean? And this has happened in the past, and it hasn't really hurt them as much, like Juice WRLD, right? There's this question that fans used to ask way back in the day, like, yo, why isn't Juice WRLD on the XXL Freshman list, right? And it was because he blew up right when the first list was happening, and right when the list was happening, and by the time the second list was about to be picked, he was way too established to be a freshman. So he just missed the window. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate, but I feel like people like these underground rappers become quote unquote established in their own lane, so soon it might be hard to catch them. Then of course it's the style of rap. Like imagine Netspend freestyling honestly on like a Cardo beat would be cool, or even Osama though. It just I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. And especially because XXL isn't cool, they have no obligation to, and it wouldn't help them. Because why would those rappers co-sign some, like, they're just not gonna help XXL if XXL isn't helping them, you know what I mean? I think Xavier So Based might fit for XXL, I don't know. But he probably just doesn't fuck with them, you know? But yeah, that's the one thing. And then even though this list is slightly better that's it. It's just slightly better. I feel like XXL's brand is just falling and falling and falling. To me, magazine, at least like these cultural magazines, you know, they're, for a magazine to be cool, in my opinion, it has to be synonymous with culture. And like for many years, XXL was synonymous with hip hop culture. It's just not as much anymore. It's not a, like, people don't value its opinion anymore. Even Pitchfork has fallen from its grace. It's not as cool anymore. It's cool, but it's like, you know. And a big telltale sign of this is like younger fans don't respect Pitchfork, younger fans don't respect XXL. It's just an issue. What's funny is like for a lot of these underground fans, the underground sound cypher or freestyle was better than this one. He actually posted it and he said, ha, and everyone was like, oh, this one's trash, blah, blah, blah. He said, Eam Triplin, freshman in the Big 2025. This dropped in 2022. Awkward. Yeah, that was definitely very late. I don't know why. I guess it's just good for him. Jello. Yeah, kind of funny. Obviously, Underground Sounds cypher was like way too underground, but somebody like Benji Bluebills, even like Benji Bluebills would have strengthened this list so much, like so much, you know what I mean? And I feel like another thing too, because a lot of times fans will be like, hey, like I just wish there were more of these like underground SoundCloud rappers on this list. It doesn't need to be all underground SoundCloud rappers. There just needs to be like XXL needs to know their product and know their audience a bit more. I feel like they have Ian, Rugrat, Nino Paid, Laserdom, Jello's cool, Baby Chief Dude's cool. If they just had like one or two more of like these SoundCloud underground adjacent, and they have EBK Jabo too, SoundCloud underground adjacent rappers, that would have made this list valid. I think people would have fucked with it, but they just have a little too much unknown. Like, and look, some of them make sense. Like Ray Vaughn makes sense, you know. I guess YTB Fat makes sense. Samara Sin, I've literally never heard of her. I've never heard of her. But yeah, EBK Jabo is also cool. He's like this West Coast rapper. I don't know if you guys listen to West Coast rap. Their beats are almost all the same. EBK Jabo's beats are just crazy. He also was supposed to open up for Youngboy, but had some legal issues and he got taken off the tour. But anyways, these are my thoughts on this whole XXL freshman list. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I do think this is a step in the right direction. So maybe next year the list will be better and XXL can kind of like claw themselves back, you know? But anyways, peace. Take care. See you tomorrow.